realization of the comparative advantages of Eswatini equality culture across the spectrum of society through the establishment of a national quality infrastructure which comprises of institutions, structures, and systems for the development and implementation of quality activities. The Kingdom of Eswatini developed the National and Quality Policy in 2010, which is aimed at giving guidance and direction in the implementation of a coherent quality infrastructure that effectively supports industry, trade, and discharge of social services. The National Quality Infrastructure constitutes the following pillars: standardization, technical regulations, conformity assessment, metrology, and accreditation. The government is committed to develop and implement a functional national quality infrastructure that enhances competitiveness of national goods and services regionally and globally. A fully functional quality infrastructure will ensure that locally produced goods and services adhere to internationally recognized standards and shall be able to trade seamlessly in any country, and products tested in competent local laboratories are accepted everywhere. These collectively minimize barriers to trade. The establishment of an appropriate and functional quality infrastructure can substantially assist Eswatini in positioning her economy to seize the many opportunities available through appropriate implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. The quality infrastructure systems better position developing economies to achieve sustainable development through building prosperity, meeting the needs of the people, and protecting the planet. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development recognizes international trade as an engine for economic growth and poverty reduction and an important means to achieve the SDGs. Export-driven economic growth and increase in participation of micro, small, and medium enterprises are some of the key initiatives aimed by Eswatini Strategic Roadmap 2019 to 2023 to make a positive contribution to the country's economic growth and recovery. Local and international traders are interested in goods and services that conform to specified requirements. Thus, quality is the currency for international trade. International trade should be supported by a national quality infrastructure which provides the necessary tools to ensure that differences in local requirements, including those contained in national standards and technical regulations, do not unduly restrict international trade and do not harm the planet. The aforementioned benefits of a national quality infrastructure can never be overemphasized beyond this point. The government of the Kingdom of Eswatini has established various quality infrastructure institutions to provide the relevant quality services such as quality, policy, and legislation development undertaken by the Regulatory and Quality Infrastructure Development Department, RQID. The department also performs the following functions: accreditation, facilitated by the National Accreditation Focal Point, NAFP, under the Regulatory and Quality Infrastructure Development Department. Technical regulations, Technical Coordination Office under the Regulatory and Quality Infrastructure Development Department. Quality promotion to the general public through the Eswatini Quality Awards. The Eswatini Standards Authority, SWASA, undertakes standardization, certification, and industrial calibration. There is also a legal metrology function which is undertaken by the Weights and Measures section, metrology. Local access to services provided through the quality infrastructure institutions will enhance business growth by increased productivity, sales and returns, enhancing the availability in our local markets to support our industry.
Nicholas Nyao, pastor of Evangelical Church Matapa. I would like to announce that there is a man of God coming to this country, Reverend Dr. Oh So-pak from Southern Korea. He has been mightily used by God. Now, as a leader, he would like to share his experiences and the Word of God with the pastorate of this country. So you are all invited, please. Now, the venue is EFA Zakele, so please come all. I expect it is good really to come and
Christians from every denomination are invited to join us in this life-changing All Christian United Conference under the theme Unification and Breakthrough for Eswatini. The main speaker, Reverend Oksu Park, is founder of Good News Mission, International Youth Fellowship, and Christian Leaders Fellowship. Come and join us as we go back to the Bible, united as Christians.
Ngacishe ngatibambelela kucala kunathe ama-ARVs ngesaba imvuka lesoloko kukhulunywa ngayo sekuphela umnyaka ngawaqala solo siphethene kahle ngikhumbula kahle ukuthi angimelanga ukuthi ngize ngigule noku nomtho solo ngingumcemane ngiyatichenya ngalesinqumo ngitawuqhubeka ngoba nathi ngikwethembeka solo ngime kuso sinqumo sami ngigrand ngisukumela impilo yami
kuva kabandi shayela 1212.
Good evening, dear viewers, and welcome to the News Bulletin at 8, brought to you by our #1 news provider, Eswatini TV. I am Nondumiso Vilagate alongside Nomakabiso Nkambule, and here are your top stories. A special envoy from Saudi Arabia has paid a courtesy call on His Majesty King Mswati III at Lozita Palace. The founder of the Good News Mission and International Youth Fellowship, Reverend Dr. Oksu Park, has paid a courtesy call on His Majesty King Mswati III. The Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku says the sharp increase of reported abuse has influenced government to develop laws that aim at eradicating gender-based violence. The news. A special envoy from Saudi Arabia has paid a courtesy call on His Majesty King Mswati III at Lozita Palace. The envoy was led by His Excellency Ahmed bin Abdulaziz Katan, who is the advisor to the royal court.
His Majesty King Mswati III received the special envoy from Saudi Arabia at Lozita Palace. The envoy was led by the advisor to the royal court, Mr. Ahmad bin Abdulaziz Katan.
How are you? How are you, sir? Very nice to see you. Likewise. Likewise, I'm excited to see you. Welcome to the kingdom. Thank you.
In spite of the distance between the Kingdom of Eswatini and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the two countries have a lot of common interests. The two countries have many similarities, including a shared love and respect for the preservation of respective heritage and cultures. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Senator Thuli Dladla, says the Kingdom of Eswatini is fully behind the 2030 Saudi Arabia Expo.
Your Excellency, as a nation, we would like to assure you of our support and that we're behind Saudi Arabia in terms of Expo 2030.
Thank you.
You receive our support, our full support. And further to that, Your Excellency, once again as a country, we would like to condemn the multiple drone and missile attacks on your oil depots.
His Excellency The advisor to the royal court, Mr. Ahmed bin Abdulaziz Katan, appreciated the support towards the 20 from the Kingdom of Eswatini.
But at the beginning of our meeting, I conveyed the greetings of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz and the Crown Prince, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz, and their wishes of prosperity to His Majesty and to the government and to the people of Eswatini. We discussed many issues, especially how to enhance our relationships in all aspects. And at the same time, I expressed my government appreciation to His Majesty and to the people, to the government of Eswatini for supporting Saudi Arabia into host Expo 2030 in Riyadh.
Countries have membership in many organizations such as the Nations and its various subsidiary bodies, Health Organization, and International Atomic Energy Agency, amongst others. Mazia at Lozita Palace.
The founder of the Good News Mission and International Youth Fellowship, Reverend Dr. Oksu Park, has paid a courtesy call on His Majesty King Mswati III. Dr. Park met with His Majesty the King and Ingwenyama at Lozita Palace.
Nice meeting you, sir. How do you do, Excellency? Very well. Please. Thank you.
Reverend Dr. Okso Park, together with his delegation, arrived at Lozita Palace, whereby they were received by His Majesty King Mswati III. Dr. Okso Park is the founder of the Good News Mission and International Youth Fellowship based in South Korea. The church has had good and fruitful relations with the kingdom, as the country is known for putting God first in everything it does. On the news, I'm Polile Mazia at Lozita Palace.
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia special envoy has arrived in Eswatini. The special envoy arrived Monday morning through the King Mswati III International Airport, and they are in Eswatini to deliver a special message to His Majesty King Mswati III on behalf of Saudi Arabia King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. The envoy then paid a courtesy call to the Prime Minister Cleopas Lamini.
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia special envoy has this morning arrived in the Kingdom of Eswatini through the King Mswati III International Airport. The special envoy is led by advisor at the Royal Court of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Ahmed bin Abdulaziz Katan. The delegate is here in the Kingdom of Eswatini to deliver a special message to His Majesty King Mswati III on behalf of the Saudi Arabia King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. The envoy landed in Eswatini around 9 in the morning and were welcomed in the kingdom by the Minister of Public Works and Transport, Shimdla Ndwandwe. The delegates then paid a courtesy call to His Excellency the Prime Minister Cleopas Lamini. Diplomatic relations between the Kingdom of Eswatini and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was officially signed in the United States of America in New York in March 2015. Delivering the country's speech during the signing ceremony, Eswatini ambassador to Saudi Arabia Zwelith Mnisi said these two countries have many similarities, including a shared love and respect for the preservation of respective heritage and cultures. On another note, Saudi Arabia is famous for oil and is the largest country in the world without a river. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Samkel Siwekoza at the King Mswati III International Airport.
Founder of the Good News Mission of South Korea, Reverend Oksu Park, has paid a courtesy call to the Prime Minister Cleopas Lamini. Reverend Park is in Eswatini to lead a Christian United Conference themed Unification and Breakthrough for Eswatini.
Reverend Oksu Park is from North Korea and is the founder of the Good News Mission, a Christian-based new religious movement, also known as Guwongpa. Reverend Park also founded other organizations, including the Gracious Choir and Orchestra and the International Youth Fellowship. According to the International Youth Fellowship, he has met with 29 state heads from 23 countries to discuss issues to do with education. Reverend Park is in the Kingdom of Eswatini to host an all-Christian United Conference on the 28th of March with local pastors at the Free Evangelical Assemblies in Manzini. On Monday, Reverend Park paid a courtesy call to His Excellency the Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini. Amongst other things, the Prime Minister and Reverend Park discussed youth unemployment, the 2021 social unrest, and its effect on the economy, as well as the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Reverend Park also mentioned that the fellowship is currently constructing an international youth center in Manzini. On another note, Reverend Park is an author of 11 Christian-based books. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkel Swekoza with visual source from the Prime Minister's office.
The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Sizakele Dlamini, says the loan amounting to 1.2 billion emalangeni that the country needs will assist to mitigate the negative impacts of COVID-19 pandemic in the economy. Dlamini was speaking during a meeting with MPs at Happy Valley Hotel.
The Ministry of Finance, together with portfolio committees of both houses of parliament, had a meeting where the Ministry of Finance was presenting on the 1.2 billion emalangeni loan that the country needs to fight poverty and to implement the post-COVID-19 strategic roadmap. The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Sizakele Dlamini, says the loan will help in mitigating the impact of COVID-19.
Siboleke sikhona ukuqhubeka nekusebenza kwahulumende neliveli likhona ukuqhubeka lisebenza. Imali ke sihlalo ayisiyo nje ukuthi i-specific ukuthi kwentani but i-budget support. Budget support ngeSwati nawuthi imali le dawungena ngoluntu esebenzisa ngendlela labona ngayo. Ide ukuthi kwakha i-enable but it's purely for budget support. Ema-conditions alone athi itawubhadalwa over 16 installment line 16 losho ukuthi iminyaka eni-8. Kulo 8 minyaka utawungena kuze siyabhadala emva kokuthi sibe neminyaka emithathu yokuthi bathi grace period losho ukuthi asibhadali lutho lapho sibe nje sibhadala ama-interest ngaleso sikhathi leso. But all in all, i-loan lesayibhadala over 8 years plus the 3 years grace period.
The bill regarding this loan was tabled in Parliament, and now what's left is for a compilation of report on findings of the portfolio committees, then bring it back to the Honourable House for a debate and finally adoption. For Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni, with Vumingo Sinzinisa in Ezulwini.
The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Education and Training, Bektemba Gama, says parents should consult with schools on pupils' poor academic results and repeating of grades. Gama says they have received concerns from parents on pupils' poor end-of-year results.
The Ministry of Education and Training says it is worrisome to learn that at some schools there is a high number of pupils who failed their exams and might need to repeat grades. The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Bektemba Gama, says they have received concerns from parents about their children's poor end of academic year results. Gama says even though they do not expect pupils to repeat grades, as they were examined based on what they have covered on their syllabus.
Wabesishida ukuthi abahlolwe ngalabakufunzile bantwana maybe lokho bengithanda kube nje kuqhaqhe ngoba labanye batali bese bathi sibuta abantwana abangayifunzi sasize etikolweni abahlolwe ngalabakufunzile ngakho ke sikathile ukuthi nangabe lo bothishela babona lo mntwana utawubangcono lakaphinzako because bayakhuluma lokho bakhuluma nanemtali lokho kabe mabanga laphasi lokuthi babhadalelwa nguhulumende bantwana umbala ngangikhumbula kahle uphinza kanye emva kwalokho kufuna kubhadale umtali asikagathi vele singaba khona umbala lophinzako nabafundela abakufunzile nabe bababutela abakufunzile kufanele sekwendekile sekuthiwa umbala kaphinze ngoba isikole siyayisisho njalo basibona sitamsita lo mbala lokuphinza asikagathi ukuthi kuphinze half well class hloze kukhona inkinga lekhona lapho kodwa kuphele naku lesikuvile nje ukuthi kukhona abatali labathi abantu ababaphindze noma baphasile aphindze ngokuphase emuva sicela kucela abatali lapho ukuthi basibambise sihle kwemfundo sibothishela etikolweni.
The Principal Secretary also highlighted how the government came to the decision to close schools for a few weeks.
Bantu kufuna baconze ukuthi nalo sikhathi atifani nakadzeni kule minyaka lemibili sibenedinkinga sibenato dabo COVID nalokunye lokuthi ke nyalo sikhathi sibe sinenge bafundisa angadlo sibabale kanjani bona because ngakwethu sathi thina ke kuvulwe nakophela January kuvalwe emkhathini waApril losina ngoba lamalanga ngento yabe mancane la ngalesiwafundzile kunala kufana lavamile so ngiyacela nje sibambisane sitshengise lokuthi lesimo akusiso lesesitayelekile basibambise bothishela basibambise abantwana basibambise nabatali.
On another note, to improve the free primary education system, the Ministry of Education is working on digitizing the system. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samgal Siwakoza in Babane.
The Deputy Prime Minister, Themba Masuku, says the sharp increase of reported abuse has influenced government to develop laws that aim at eradicating gender-based violence. Masuku says a majority of cases, the perpetrators are people who claim to love the victims. Masuku was speaking during a donation presentation ceremony by FNB Foundation to two organizations.
Following the rise in cases of gender-based violence in Eswatini, the FNB Foundation has donated a sum of 1.1 million emalangeni to Swaka and Pumelela project. Speaking during the presentation, the Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku, represented by the Undersecretary in the Deputy Prime Minister's Office, Tlopsile Dlamini, says a huge number of cases of gender-based violence reported influenced the government of Eswatini to develop laws that aims at eradicating abuse.
In recent years, the government of Eswatini has witnessed a sharp increase in reported cases of GBV perpetrated against women and children. It is then that the government saw it fit to enact laws, develop policies, and other strategic documents to address this scourge.
The FNB Foundation's chairman, Dennis Mbingo, says gender-based violence impacts so many people.
Sikhuluma tindzaba nje ukuthi live kufanele lithuthuke lihambe liyofika kuphi kulokufika le angeke sitawufika njani nangabe sihlukumetana sodwa naku limala nabomake sibulala nabomake. What sort of development are we expecting? What sort of stability are we expecting as a society?
Catherine Landman, the Pumelela Project's director, says gender-based violence has become a pandemic.
This project will benefit individuals who are at risk or have experienced gender-based violence with no confinement to age and gender. I mean, we all know statistics show that GBV is largely affecting girls and women. However, GBV affecting boys and men is a hidden issue, and often they suffer in silence, not speaking about it.
Swaka received a sum of 700,000 emalangeni, whilst Pumelela Project received a sum of 350,000 emalangeni. Reporting, Sondomlangeni with Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Malkens.
Swaka Director Nonhlanhla Dlamini says the organization receives 700 reports of abuse monthly. Dlamini says this shows that there is a need to announce gender-based violence as a national emergency, which can allow resources to be set aside for the prevention of GBV. Dlamini was speaking when receiving donations from FNB Foundation. The director also gave the survivor a chance to give a testimony.
The Eswatini Action Group Against Abuse receives more than 700 cases of abuse per month. The Swaka director, Nonhlanhla Dlamini, says the rise in cases of gender-based violence shows that there is a great need for the government of Eswatini to declare gender-based violence as a national emergency. Dlamini says making the declaration can help in accelerating prevention programs.
We are also very much disturbed about the cases of intimate partner violence that results into murder. How will declaring GBV a national emergency help? Will it bring an end to this problem. Please educate me. And I was like, declaring GBV a national emergency, like we've done with HIV/AIDS and COVID, would actually help government and corporate and other partners to invest into GBV, like we are seeing what is happening today. So they'll put more resources into prevention and response, and also in terms of making sure that the cases, when they go to court, they are treated with some kind of emergency.
Simpiwe Makakula, a survivor of abuse, says that SWACA with her partners have been greatly of assistance to her after she was sexually abused by relatives at the age of 7 years and 12 years. Makakula says she was staying with her relatives and her grandmother, who never gave her an ear to disclose what was happening to her. Makakula urged parents never to trust relatives with their kids. Makakula says she reached a point where she wanted to take her own life. She says that SWACA provided a safe space and counseling. She further states that now she is stronger and she is willing to help parents with what to do in order for their kids to trust them and be comfortable talking to them about anything. The government of Eswatini passed the Sexual Offences and Violence Act as well as the Child Protection Act in a bid to eradicate violence and abuse. According to a study conducted by the University of Swaziland together with different stakeholders, reveals that 1 in 3 women are violated. For Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni, with
behind on their education compared to other learners. The Eswatini Communications Commission facilitated an online workshop for special practitioners on online learning held at Peaks Peak Hotel.
Learners with disabilities find themselves lagging behind with their education because of their disabilities. The Eswatini Communications Commission facilitated a workshop in partnership with the University of Eswatini to educate teachers on their role on this. The aim of the workshop is to capacitate special education practitioners on the principle of designing for online teaching and learning, to guide special education practitioners on the use of different online tools to meet varied learner needs. The Undersecretary in the Ministry of Education, Lungelo Nhlengetwa, says more research should be conducted on online and digital learning. He says inclusive education system is defined as one that includes and meets the needs for all learners, whatever their gender, health, disability, financial or other circumstances.
Ekuthenini labantwana labo bangathi abafani nalabanye abantwana mangakubuya kanjalo babe sebayasala makufundiswako. So lokho bese na i-online teaching nje etikolweni bokhanza ukuthi labanye babo bayasilela ngoba bakhona ukubona, abakhona ukulalela la emsakatweni, so sebafeyila ke bona. So lithi ke lithi akube lemhlangano lo njengalo kufundiswe labo thishela labaqhamuka kwetikolo leti kwanyalo. Using online platforms.
He says all teachers in the country need to be trained on this. Professor Henry Kadaga of the University of Eswatini says learners with special needs need access to online learning.
What we found is that it's not only the learners who have problems, but also the instructors have challenges in terms of delivering courses online. So through IDE, they've come up with this course, and we are hoping that it will help the instructors. And in this particular case, it will be for those instructors who are working with learners with special needs. So we are looking at inclusive education
The Director of Universal Access and Service in the Eswatini Communications Commission, Mbongeni Mjali, says this partnership was to ensure that no one is left behind in embracing ICT in the education sector.
Let us facilitate this session and make sure that labantwana labakhubatekile nabo bayakhona kubenefita kufundiswa online. Kunema-programs esike sawenda ngaphambilini sasita bona abantwana abakhubatekile ngama-end user gadgets school for the deaf ngiyabekisa nje sabanike internet mahala and then we enable the teachers nabo ukuthi bakhone kufundisa. So nakhona it's one way that we are saying that they have the gadgets, they have the capability maybe with internet, but bafundiswa njani labo tishela.
Eswatini Communications Commission provided learners with learning gadgets. Mjali says they have established special programs for learners with disabilities in their 3-year program, which is 2021 to 2024. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian MCB, Peak.
Dear viewers, we'll now take a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Yes Country, where it's yes to big savings on a roll-up garage door in brown, white or charcoal for just $1,750 each. And a single sectional garage door in brown, white or charcoal for only $3,795 each. Yes, we can. Only at Build It.
It's the OK Easter Hunt for $1 million, and you stand a chance to win your share of $1 million in vouchers. Simply buy any 2 participating products and swipe your Kantan card to enter. You also save on all gold tomato sauce, now only $26.99. Brooks Oros for just $32.99, and Rama Original Fat Spread at a low $39.99. The OK Easter Hunt for $1 million, only at OK. Owners you can count on.
Dear viewers, we'll now take a look at our financial updates.
Standard Bank. It can be.
Welcome back. You're still watching Eswatini TV, and for your sports news tonight, the Swimming Association has launched a program aimed at coaching young pupils in public schools to enhance their swimming capabilities. The secretary of the organization, Bongwe Dlamini, says that the program will be held at Mavuso Sports Center swimming pool.
The Swimming Association of Eswatini has seen the need to support young swimmers in the kingdom. Secretary of the association, Bongwe Dlamini, says that as an association have started in a program that aims at coaching young children in public schools.
So, the Eswatini Swimming Association besinesifiso sokubona abamfana bemaswati bafundza kuswima. Sabona in-need ukuthi kude kahle lama facilities nale ukuthi bamfana bakhone kufika ku swimming pool nalokuthi kube na someone lobafundzisako. Senda i-partnership na Eswatini Investment Promotion Authority lapho khona basivumele ukuthi sithathe over the swimming pool portion of le gym lapha eMavuso kaManzini. Lapho khona sifise kurane development program similar to the one lesinayo Simunye. Lapho bamfa bemaswati who are in public schools, lapho kude khona i-pool, lapho kude khona ama-coaches la ngabafundzisa kuswima, siyaba invite ukuthi bede balethe bantfana between the hours of 8 a.m. and 12 noon ukuthi bede batofundza. Kumele basithinthe sito arrange tikhathi nako konke, but bamfana sicela manzini nawutokhona kufika kamanzini eMavuso.
Dlamini further mentioned that these children will access this service at no charge if they register using their school, and this program will be held at the Mavuso Sports Center swimming pool. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports, I'm Linda Dlamini. Babani.
That is all we have for tonight, but before we wrap up, we'll take a recap of today's headlines.
A special envoy from Saudi Arabia has paid a courtesy call on His Majesty King Mswati III at Lozita Palace. The founder of the Good News Mission and International Youth Fellowship, Reverend Dr. Oksu Park, has paid a courtesy call on His Majesty King Mswati III. The Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku says the sharp increase of reported abuse has influenced government to develop laws that aim at eradicating gender-based violence.
That brings us to the end of our news bulletin tonight. Up next is the weather forecast for selected towns. Good night, Eswatini.